in the days they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days. Yo, as I look back in the days, I realized I needed to take care of myself, take a good inventory of myself, see what needs to work on and what needs to be done. And I look around and all I see are these shorties are fat, so I call them fatsos. Asshole, stop playing with yourself and find a hobby. Go join a gym or something. Grow up because you don't want to look like me because back in the days they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days they call me webcam fatso. I said back in the days, back in the Speakerroxx. Rocks, let me speak on this. And I think you, DJ Rivera, needed to lose some weight, then some more weight. Tone up, but you weren't that bad. Some women like men with meat on their bone, and some women like men showing their bones. Call them anorexic bulimic. So put a shirt on and stay approximately 150 pounds, maybe 155 pounds. I don't know, just whatever feels right to you. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, big white mama. Now that you're skinny, scrawny, you can wear a bodysuit to be close to my size, or if you want to portray me in drag. But dang, that would suck because I'm the real big white mama, BWM or BMW, whatever you want to call me. So here, son, I baked some cookies, so put on some weight and don't listen to them because you're on because back in the days, back in the days they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the days they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, I said back in the days they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the Queen of Cheyenne, AKQLC. Sometimes I like my men fat, and they like it when I call them fat. I love to walk around my fat men, and it's hot to me because I love their belly go boing, 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 boing up and down my forehead when I'm giving them head. Fat men have small dicks, but Queen can give them big dicks. Pass the mic to MakaKiki. MakaKiki, back in the days, they used to call me old school MakaKiki. Back in the days, they used to call him Kiki. But nowadays, I'm the She Christ, aka the female Machiavelli, resurrected to for the future, aka a part of the duo, a part of how the West was won. Oh, I forgot to add the Macas. And you're thinking this one will stay alive, will remain alive, and I can't wait to drop my girls, Sissy, September, Autumn, Sequence, and Queenie. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fat. So back in the days, back in the transsexual Danyielle. Yeah, I had to drop on the remix, call mine the transmix, and all you webcam fatsos need to lose weight, stay in shape. Like DJ Rivera said, go find a hobby. Maybe you can be one of these big alter egos and make it real big. And no one, I don't mean, I don't mean your stomach as being big. Like back in the days, the trans men used to call me Tranny Danny. I said, like back in the days, the trans men used to call me Tranny Danny. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the call me transsexual Kit Kat or DJ Kit Kat, whichever, whatever. But back in the days, they used to call me Keith, a straight bisexual guy called Keith, a short, spiky haired, interested in long, big hair, because I wanted to be a star, be a female rap star, looking up to all female rappers in the 80s and in the 90s, even in the 2G. And look at me now, putting it down on the remix with DJ Rivera, Speakerroxx, Big White Mama, Queen of Cheyenne, MakaKiki, and transsexual Danyielle. Days, I've always been in good shape, so you couldn't call me fatso, but DJ Rivera was called back in the days. Back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the now, the days they tell me they're gonna fat, excuse me, fatten me up, go to the gym, so I can look buff, eat more food. But I'm like Missy Elliott, and I lost weight because I'm dancing more, working out a lot more, and I'm doing not just eating junk food. I'm eating less food, role modeling for these youngins, role modeling for these shorties to get your mind right. And I wanted to write more on the extended remix. Call it the extended he mix. Girls on it changed to the she mix. I could have been added Kiki and Angel Perry to it, but we'll see if someone will want to be rapping it. Nowadays, call me TBA. That stands for to be announced. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in the days, they call me webcam fatso. Back in the days, back in this took my whole break. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you very much.